I need to be quick. A taller height doesn't help so much. So when you're a bit shorter, then it's much better. That's why the Chinese are really good at it.
After our bronze medals in Jakarta, to the Asians, the Chinese take us a lot more seriously now. I'm sure they
Very
do.
much, very much, very much. Already before the Asian Games, we were in a training camp in China, and one day we actually got permission to train with the national team. And in that training camp, they made us play matches, and of course we lost to them. But the way we played these matches and how close we could get it to them, they stood in a line and they actually clapped for us, saying, "Well done,
Wow.
guys! You've come along."
Hi, hello everyone. A warm welcome to this special midday Meteor Icon episode, wherein we have a table tennis legend in our rights, a 10-time national champion, a 9-time Commonwealth Games gold medalist, Sharath Kamal. Sharath, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me over, Ashish.
It works like this. This is the Meteor Icon where we bring in India's sporting legends face to face with their young fans, and we have a little Q&A with them, and then the fans take over and have one or two questions as per their choice. So I'll just begin from my side.
Yeah.
Sir, we've learned that your father introduced you to the sport. Tell us about that initial initiation. What was that like?
Father and uncle, both of them started coaching back in the 80s. They were playing at the state level, and they knew that as a player they couldn't develop more. But they wanted to stay with the game, and they thought coaching would be something which they like to do, and also more to support their livelihood. So that's how they started coaching. I was born in 1982, and almost by the age of 3, I went to the club along with them in the evenings. Started playing. I keep saying at the age of 4, but maybe I was 2 also when I started playing, hitting. I had the racket in my hand, and because I was just going to the club every day. So I enjoyed being there with the other kids. So every evening I was looking forward going to the club, and slowly over a period of time, by the time I turned 8, 9, around 10, that was when I started to have a liking towards the sport, and I wanted to play the sport. And by the time I was 15, 16, I had to decide if I want to go pro on the sport. And that was the age when I felt like, okay, I like the sport. It's a strong passion that I have, and I would like to seriously take it up professionally. So 10th standard, post 10th standard, I decided I'll take up commerce, and I started playing table tennis seriously. Like,
Also, sorry, at a younger age, you were 3, 4. The height issue didn't affect you to
my
reach
dad,
the ball.
my dad, or the
Okay.
assistant coaches or the elder ones used to carry me up,
Okay.
or to put me on tables. I would sit on the table and I would just knock around. But I still have a lot of them coming to me and saying, I carried you in the beginning when you were younger and you were playing. So that's the early thoughts that I still remember, on the early moments that I remember.
So from that tiny height moving to now 6'1", as a table tennis player, is height an advantage or is it difficult? You got to bend and reach the table.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that?
I always need to push myself to stay bent and stay lower so that I can, I can shuffle faster. The game is a very quick one of the quickest in the world. So I need to be quick. A taller height doesn't help so much. So when you're a bit shorter, then it's much better. That's why the Chinese are really good at it. But at the same time, I've got a wider reach. I can get to the net very easily. So those things help me a lot, especially my best shot when they play it close to the net. I just get in there and whack the ball with my forehand. That's one of the best shots, and that is because of my height advantage. Otherwise, if I have a shot, it's not so easy to just get into the table so easily.
Yes. So we'll move on to your professional expertise. You played in German Bundesliga, in the Swedish leagues. What was the initial experience there with your few Indians to do that? What was the initial feeling playing in a foreign league as an Indian?
As I was growing up, There was a senior player called Chetan Pibabur, and he was playing in Sweden. And he was a player from he was a student of my father and uncle.
So,
So a couple of times he had come to the club and he said, if Sharath is doing well in India and he needs to improve in the international level, Europe is the place he needs to be. And at that point in time, I also understood that I had to train abroad, train in Europe, so that I get better practice partners. I train in good infrastructure. I play regular matches with good players back and forth on the weekends. So Europe had a good structure that was already running for many years. So I had to go there. So once I became the national champion, the federation also gave me the permission to go into Europe and train, and Chetan helped me find a club. And that was the main reason why I wanted to go into Europe, and that really helped me. And now, looking at the years now, UTT has actually brought that experience into India. I went in search of it like
yes.
nearly 20 years ago, and now UTT has brought that to the youngsters in India.
I was coming to that. Just like how the Hockey India League has helped India's hockey players, the
Mm.
IPL helped the cricket players. Tell us about the UTT. I mean, the experience that it brings to youngsters who are not really necessarily number ones or number twos in the country, but they're still rubbing shoulders with the world's best TT players.
It's not just the youngsters, also for the senior players.
Of course, of
It
course.
gives us a lot of confidence when we are able to train with them, and we're able to dine with them, and we're able to talk table tennis with them, and of course in the UTT when we're able to beat them. Now we've come to a level in the world where we play against these players internationally also, and we beat them. Sometimes we lose to them. But when UTT started in 2017, I was the lone flag bearer. All the other Indians were not so strong. UTT gave them the right exposure, the right confidence to get into the international level and get their best. And once we were beating these foreign players, a couple of foreign players in India, the players thought that if I can do it here, I can of course do it internationally. So that kind of confidence the regular players got. And secondly, there was a good amount of talent scout. First season Satyan and Manika played quite well, and they started, their rise in the international level was better. Then the next season, Manav Thakkar and Archana Kamath, they did very well. The third season, Sutita Mukherjee did very well. And this season also, we do see a lot of youngsters like Dia Chitale. Archana has also been continuing to do well this year. There's Manu Shah. So it's a good scouting grounds also for India.
As you said, you were the flag bearer. Yes, you are, and you continue to be. Mentoring is an important part of your career over the last few years. Tell us about that experience, mentoring your fellow players in India as well as at the UTT maybe.
Well, I feel responsible to help the younger generation because as I grew up, when I went into Europe and started playing the leagues and didn't know which club to go, where to train, what to do, I felt like there was some waste of time, which could be very crucial in a sports person's career because the shelf life is quite short at elite sport. So I felt like I should be able to groom the youngsters who would take my place up in the next years to come. So even though I was not coaching, I didn't. I'm still playing. So everybody keeps asking when are you going to retire. I really don't know that question, but I'm
Okay.
still able to play. But at the same time, I feel I can give in a lot more of my expertise to the younger players. So I've been helping a few of the younger players through their careers, and at UTT, of course, everybody is in one pool, so it's very easy to just get there, talk to them, discuss some table tennis with them, and try to find solutions if they require, and just talking to them, discussing table tennis also helps them gain that confidence and get some clarity when they're doing that with me.
Singles and doubles, you seem to be doing well in doubles as well. Is that something that comes naturally to you, or do you work towards that consciously to improve in doubles
Eh,
as well?
That's something which came naturally in my earlier years already, doubles especially. But I'm quite a team guy.
Yeah.
Grew up in a team environment, and I like being in a team. That is also the reason why I like as a team. I perform my best also. So in doubles, I've been always been doing well since 2010. 2010, we won the first gold medal for India at the Commonwealth Games, me and
Yeah.
Sulisa. So I've been doing quite well in doubles, and that's something like you said, it comes a bit naturally to me because I adapt very well to situations. But at the same time, I make my partners also rise to the occasion because they can't completely depend on me all the time. So when I was
Sure.
playing Shrita at the Birmingham games and Commonwealth Games and
Yeah.
mixed doubles, initially she was like, she's playing with her idol. Yeah, she's so overwhelmed that she's in that
Oh, yeah.
situation, and she's just too nervous that she's playing with Sharath, and she doesn't want to miss, she doesn't want to make mistakes. So which in turn she is not going to take any chances. So
Okay.
which makes it very difficult for me. So she needs to help me set up also. So of course, I will set up the game. I will try and finish some balls when I can. But doubles is, you can't clap with one hand. You need
Yeah.
two hands to clap. So
Yeah.
both of us need to gel in well and get there. And there, me along with our coach spent a lot of time making her understand that. And in the end, it was a fantastic result that we had.
9 Commonwealth Games gold medals. You have a special one in there, or they're all equally special?
Difficult
Okay.
one to play which
Okay.
one is
Okay.
good, because first in 2006 when I won it, it was like
Yes.
I was the new kid on the block,
Yes.
that
Yes.
guy with long hair, and people still ask me, why don't you have the long hair yet? I said, I'm getting old, man. Because the hair is receding. From there, getting on to 2010, another gold medal there, under in home conditions.
Yes.
Lot of pressure,
Home.
of course. There's a lot of support, but a lot of pressure also. When you're playing in front of your home crowd and you need to deliver, you need to do well. So that is there, and then 16 years apart from 2006, go on to win three more golds. Well, I didn't expect to fairly three golds, but yeah, it went on to be a dream run for me. So it's very tough to say which one I would pick.
We'll come to the big ones, the Asian Games bronze medals. Tell us about that. Not many fans or critics would have given India a chance at the Asian Games, but you guys proved them wrong. Tell us about those two experiences.
Asian Games is equivalent to Olympic Games in terms of table tennis, table
Yeah.
tennis, because it's completely dominated by the Asian countries. There are a few European
Of course.
countries, but it's more dominated by the Asian countries. So when we went in to 2018 games, we believed in ourselves, and we thought, yes, if with a favorable draw and all three of us doing well on that particular day, there's an outside the box chance. And then we got the draw what we wanted. We were playing Japan. I've beaten a few players in there. Satyan had beaten a few players in there. So Harmit had beaten a few players. So we got the draw what we wanted, and we actually delivered that. And then with that win, I was very very confident, and we went on to win the mixed doubles bronze also, which is also something
Yes.
which we didn't a lot of people didn't expect, didn't talk about
Of course.
this. That was our,
Of course.
yeah, first big major victory. But that's the medal, which has a very special value to it, because it's the first time in 62 years that
Correct.
India has had a medal at the Asian Games. So
Correct.
of course, Commonwealth is different, but the Asian Games was something which I really felt, because we're standing on the podium with the Chinese, with the best
Yes.
players in the world. So
Yes. Yes.
that adds a lot of value.
I have two colleagues with me from the midday, Karan Shankar and Sundari Iyer. They have a question for you. So, yeah, Karan, go ahead.
Why do you think that Indian TT players haven't reached the heights that professional badminton players from India have? Do you think there's a funding problem, or maybe not enough support from the government, or what is it that you think that has been the case?
Just when you compare badminton or table tennis, badminton has had Gopi Chand was top 10 in the world.
Right.
Prakash Padukone was top 10 in the world. He was probably on world number 1. In table tennis, we are not there. We were around 200s until in the world ranking. Like I was the lone player in top 100 for the last 15 years until 2017 or no, not 2017, until 2013-14 when Somajit Ghosh actually came into the fray. So we've never had players beyond 70 in the world. So I was the first one to break into 39, 38 and 32 later on, and in the recent times 30. And Satyan got better of that. He reached 20, 25, 24.
Yeah.
So the comparison is not fair.
Okay.
Because Indian badminton, when you get introduced into the world ranking, you are in the top 100 or most probably in the top 50. When an Indian player is introduced in the world ranking after a few junior tournaments and a few senior tournaments, we start at 400 in the world. In the last 10 years, we've come a very long way. So we've had greater success than badminton if you look at like
Okay.
if you look at.
That's a great point.
Of course, yeah, we don't have that Olympic medals. Of course, then Gopi Chand came in, and then he had to get those 50s or 40s to 5s and up there. So 50 to 10, and we are 400 to 40. So we have another 0 next to us.
You recently spoke about the need for a high performance director in the Indian table tennis. Also, there has been no coach for 5 years. Are these factors hampering the sport in India?
Doesn't look like we're still playing well. So
Okay.
also giving the federation an excuse that okay, these guys are still doing well. We have no dire need of the time. But yes, everything said and done, we need a coach who's not just us. We need a panel of coaches who work with the Indian team from top to bottom with all the age categories, so that the grooming happens, and basically the transition of under 17 player into the under 19 to the senior players. So that happens more organically.
Yeah.
When we train together, when these kids be with us, and so for all of that, we need a structure, we need a system, we need coaches and a HPD. I'm pretty sure now the current federation is looking at it. They're working towards that goal, and hopefully we will be able to have a setup like that in the next few months.
Yeah, you spoke about having a lot of coaches, not just one. So would you all prefer like a mix of Indian and foreign, or what is it like for you all?
We need to have one foreign coach, also more so, because first thing is because Indian coaches always they have players, they run clubs, because it's a very there's no professional contract that the federation has with the players, with the coaches. Every coach will have a player, or they will be coaching in a club. So if the coach is going to be on the national team side, most of the time he is volunteering. So he's not being paid for it. And at the same time, there's a conflict of interest which that's been on the rounds recently. So when you get a foreign coach, he's more neutral, at least in the beginning. And then after that, you can groom a few coaches, Indian coaches, and try to build up a structure around the foreign coach. In the beginning, at least, you need the foreign expertise to help build a structure. And once we are empowered with that, then I think the Indian coaches are already doing a good job, but just that they will understand not just the coaching part, but also the whole administrative and.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Sharath, we also have 4 young table tennis players who are huge fans of yours. You are their idol. We've got Pratyush, Sana, Sampada, and Sharveya. I'll begin with Pratyush, who has a question. Pratyush is a state silver medalist, district gold medalist, 14 years of age. Pratyush, go ahead.
What would be your advice to young budding players to become professional TT players?
Most important is you need to have the passion and the commitment, because Without commitment, you can't start anything. But without consistency, you're never going to finish. So it's very, very important. Like all the senior players, all the older guys, we keep talking about discipline and consistency and commitment and passion and all these big words that we keep doing. The most important is you need to love what you're doing. You need to like what you're doing on an everyday basis. And there is nothing next to consistency. Everybody keeps asking me, how do I do it for so many years? I just like what I'm doing and I just do it every day. There are days when I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to practice. There are days, but still in the end, I push myself, get out of my comfort zone and do it. That is what I would tell the youngsters also. You need to, constantly drive the coaches to help you. It should not be the opposite. Coaches should not drive you to get to what you achieve, but you need to drive your coaches to ask, okay, what more can I do? What should I be doing? What am I doing right? And what am I doing wrong?
Thank you, Pratyush. Sampada Bhivankar is the next TT enthusiast. She's 18. She's currently ranked 8th in Maharashtra, a two-time state champion. Sampada, yeah, you can go. The question, please.
Hi, Sharath. Can you please tell us more about your hobbies?
Okay, my hobbies. I like music a lot. Yeah, I used to play the guitar, but I would like to go to actually proper classes and learn how to play the guitar. Now that my daughter is playing the keyboard and she's getting into a piano, I'd like to have some jam sessions with her. Music is something which I always like, and that's my unwind. Especially after days of hard training, or even when I just want to relax, or even when I want to pump myself up. The different kinds of music that I listen to, and music is something which I feel very comfortable with.
What about your passion for cars or
No,
bikes for that matter?
more bikes. Yeah, cars not so much passion. More for bikes.
Okay.
So do you? So what bikes you ride? Do you own some super bikes we know about?
No, I custom made a bike.
Really?
So
Wow. Which one is that?
it's a bullet, but it looks more like it's called the name of the bike. There's this guy who makes these custom makes,
Okay.
and he named my bike the Ace because I'm a I'm the
Okay. That's interesting. You can send me the picture when you have the time next for that.
I'll do that.
The next in our list of young TT players is Sana D'Souza. Sana is from Sate College in Villaparle. She's 16, national level player, and also played international tournaments, a national bronze medalist, and a state champion as well. Sana, your question, you can go ahead, please.
So, my question to you is what would you have become if not for a table tennis player?
My parents never gave me an option. They put me into the sport of table tennis, I liked playing table tennis so much that I never thought of doing anything else. So there was a stage, when I was 21, when I was 20, and I was still not able to break the national team 1920. I was actually starting to think, okay, what if I don't make it in the next 2-3 years? Do I come from a BCom graduation, so do I go for an MBA or do I go for a CA? What should I be studying? I like accounts, so what should I be studying? I was thinking on those lines, but actually, my parents also never forced me. Of course, my mother would have wanted me to become an engineer, typical South Indian, way.
Yes.
But that's also because my cousins all did the same. They were engineers. They went to the US. So my mother also, wanted me to follow that. But they let me decide it. And the introduction to table tennis was at such an early age, and I liked. There were days when I used to wake my dad up at 6 in the morning and say, "Please take me to the club." So that was the kind of liking I had for the sport. So it's very hard to say I would have become something else.
Our final participant is Sharvaya Samant. She's 16, another national level player. She's reached the India 12 and a state ranked third and a district gold medalist. Sharvaya, your question for Sharath?
Why is it so difficult to beat Chinese players in table tennis?
Thing is, it's not just for us, it's for the rest of the world also. They are at least 3 to 4 steps ahead of the rest of the world. First thing is they have a good structure for training. They are completely funded by the government. They're completely aided by the government. So the kids from a very young age of 5, 6, they only play table tennis. They don't go to school. But the day they finish table tennis, the government helps them finding jobs and supporting them, which we cannot afford to do. Or any, for that matter, any other country, they can't do that. And they have the technical understanding on how to play the sport well. So they invest a lot of time into research and development also. So they have PhDs in their universities for table tennis. So people are doing actually research on how to stick the racket, which would give the best results, which would be the best technique, what is the best biomechanics that would work for the sport. So that's the amount of work they put into. And at the same time, this is all at the top level. And the players, we are all practicing for 8 hours a day. They are practicing for 10 to 11 hours a day. So every day they have 2 to 3 hours more than the rest of the world.
Sharath, after our bronze medals in Jakarta, do the Asians, the Chinese take us a lot more seriously now? I'm sure they
Very
do.
much, very much, very much. Already before the Asian Games, we were in a training camp in China, and one day we actually got permission to train with the national team. And we were there. At that time, they were not taking us so seriously. And in that training camp, they made us play matches. And of course, we lost to them. But the way we played those matches and how close we could get it to them, they stood in a line and they actually clapped for us, saying, "Well done, guys. You've come along."
Wow.
And since then, they actually know all of us by names. And before that, they really never would care about which this player. But now they know the players by our names and they know what kind of style we play.
Wow. So I won't take much of your time. One last question. The Asian Games coming up. Your 5th Asian Games, would it be, if not wrong? Is there a target set for this one, or what's it like?
Yes, we would like to defend those 2 bronze and, if possible, add 1 or 2 more. Because also there are 2 events that are added: men's doubles and women's doubles. Yes. So singles, I've lost out in the last 16 last time in a very close match. So I hope singles is something also which is, again, the draw is very, very, very crucial, and my form on that particular day. So if I'm able to repeat a Tokyo 2021 or a Birmingham 2022, then you never know.
Wonderful. Really hope you have a wonderful draw, and we do wish you all the best. Sharath's in between the UTT right now, so he's a little tied up. I think Sundari has one final question if she wants to ask it. Sundari, go ahead.
Yeah, like you said that you should be fine. And how's your training going? Because there are so many things coming up for you. UTT going on. You said it has been like a great help to you as far as all the Asian Games, Olympics, everything coming up in the next year, this year. So could you take us around your training or something about how you've been?
Started my preparation for Asian Games by end of March.
Okay.
So just with the singular focus of Asian Games. So UTT is a fantastic practice ground. So these matches that I'm that playing in UTT, we use it as practice matches, and during the day we train like a normal training period. So I'm really happy that this has happened now at this point in time, in a good way to prep ourselves for the Asian Games. So now we are into the final phase of preparation. So March and April, March started in the end of March. So April until May was more on putting up the foundation, building my game up, building my body up, and building the base. And then from June onwards, I started focusing more onto the getting sharper, getting fitter, that phase. And into the next phase, it'll be a lot more into match phase, trying to peak at the right times. Especially, I'm not at an age where I can peak and stay there for 3-4 months.
Yeah, so belated birthday wishes to you in that sense then.
Thank you very much. So I need to, so it's going according to plan. So I'm happy.
All the best.
Sharath, thank you once again, and we'd like to really look at you as you are to Indian TT what Sachin Tendulkar is to Indian cricket. The longevity, the skills, the talent, it's all there. We wish you all the best, and let's hope you do continue bringing us success. Thank you,
Thanks.
guys. Thank you, Sharath.
Thank-
All the best.
Yeah.
Thanks to all of you, the
Bye
youngsters especially.
bye.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.